everybody. It's Lee with the Enlightened Buzz, and I have the absolute pleasure of introducing and welcoming my friend and I guess cohort in the THC beverage space. This is Kimmie Gomez, and might be familiar to many of you because she is got quite the social media following, and she's the founder of Soberish. Welcome, Kimmie.
Thank you so much for having me. Obviously we've been friends through this entire journey, but it's so nice to finally be on your show.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited to have you. I was actually telling somebody the other day, I don't know if you recall this, but when I met you for the first time, it was at WSWA in 2024, I suppose.
hmm
And I kind of fangirled. I, I ran up to you and was like, I follow you on Instagram. Do you get that a lot?
Yes. Yeah. The weirdest spot that I've ever been like, oh my God, it's Kimmy G, was in a rest stop. On the way to visit my brother for the holidays, someone was like, you're Kimmy G. And I was like, yes, and this is a bag of Doritos that I'm getting for my child. But it was so random. And then I went into the bathroom, and because I tried to capture all of the random soberish moments, I literally took a video in the rest stop and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so weird. So yeah, no, that was very fun. I think I brought my camera out when you said that. And I was like, can you say that again so I can get it on camera? Because this is so much fun. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
you were great. You were live in the moment, and I think that's such a probably big key to your success in terms of growing on social media is capturing those moments when they happen and not putting them off. Does that sound kind of accurate?
Yeah, and because I'm not a good actress, and so when I'm feeling that like, oh, like, oh my gosh, did that just happen? Like, or if I'm really like upset about something, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to fake this later. So just put up your camera, and whether you use it or not, Kim, it'll be there in your camera roll. And I've made a mental note anytime there is something happening with the business or in my life that's relevant to soberish, to try to capture every moment. And whether I use it that day or not, I have it captured and then I can use it if I need content.
That's great. I think that's something that you've done so well is just be authentic. I still remember when I did meet you, you said something like tasted like a skunk's ass or something, and no shame. You posted it. It was out there. It was great. So just quickly for those people that might not know you, please share kind of, who you are and what Soberish is and why you have such a big following online and so kind of take the stage.
Leave if it's can I tell you just a little bit about my background because I think it'll all make sense.
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely. I think everybody will enjoy that too because I love it.
Okay, well, so I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I actually started my first company right out of high school, which my husband and I got married very early at 20 years old. We had restaurants and bars for 17 years. Over those course of the 17 years, I invested all of our taco money into real estate. So we have a big real estate portfolio as well in our area. But I had started an app. I saw this need to create a marketplace and for the Hispanic community and convinced my husband to sell one of our restaurants, and we invested in that. That grew from an idea to over 3 million users, and it was acquired back in 2023. When it was acquired, I was offered this great opportunity to lead entrepreneurship and innovation, part of MSU's research foundation, so Michigan State University's research foundation. And I was just like literally teaching everything that I had learned over the course of running businesses. And I thought, like, this is the dream job. But for those of you listening, and maybe you, Lee, know, like being an entrepreneur, like your mind is busy 24/7. Like you don't get a day off of being an entrepreneur. And so I took this nice, cushy job. But girl, I got bored. Like I loved coaching these startups, but I was like, what do I do after 4 p.m.? And so I was like, my husband was like, you're a better like wife when your mind is busy. Cause I was just like nitpicking everything. And same thing with like my kids. They're like, Mom, go like do something. And so my mom at the same time who struggles with alcoholism and she moved in with us. And so I'm like, well, gosh, there's this thing called like a sober curious movement. Maybe we should try some products. Well, at the same time, I'm coaching all of these startups at the university how to utilize social media and different marketing tactics. But if you're at all familiar with marketing, marketing changes like super quick. Like something that you used last year is not relevant this year.
Mhm.
Something you used last week could potentially not be relevant depending on algorithm changes and everything. And so I was kept telling these teams, like, utilize the different social media tools. And a lot of them were asking me about TikTok. And I'm like, I don't freaking know. I'm a 40-year-old mom. Like, I'm not on that app. And so again, I was tired of not having an answer. And so told my daughter, I was like, help me create an account because you're 15. Like, you know what you're doing. And I'd put like, my name was like Kim Gomez 301 or something. And she's like, oh, no. So she like erase Kimmie G. And I was like, am I a stripper? Am I like a DJ? Like, is this my stage name? But Kimmie G it is. No one's going to know me on this app. So fine, whatever. And so again, back to my mom, I'm like, Mom, like people are doing like video reviews on like products. Like maybe we should try some of these beverages and put up the phone and like see if I can like understand the dashboard on this app and all these things so I can go back to my teams. Long story short, a couple of our videos went viral. Brands had reached out for us to try their products, but about half of the products that we had tried were garbage, like
Mhm.
straight like skunk's ass made in bathtub. Like how are these products being sold? And so I remember saying in a video with my mom, like, gosh, I wish there was like an Angie's list of like tried and true products. And so I just like couldn't shake that idea. And because I knew people were buying these products, I just put up the landing page because I'm like, "Ugh, I have to see like how much value we're creating for these brands. So I threw up a landing page, which is just like a website, and it was kimmieg.com. And I put all the links to the different brands that we were talking about, and they were all tracked. So they were like affiliate links. So the brands had offered those, and I didn't really want to get paid. I was just having way too much fun with my mom drinking these products. But I'm like, I just want to see conversions. Like I want to be able to actually track like who's purchasing or how many people are purchasing. We thought maybe we'd do like $2,000 in sales that month, and it was in August, 2 years ago, August, and we did $60,000 in sales in that first month. And so
Yeah.
at that point, I'm like, well, holy shit, like this isn't a hobby, this is a business. And
Yeah,
so I
August
heads
of
down.
2023 at that, before
No, so
all these.
that was 2024.
Oh, okay,
So
still though, new,
yeah,
new for these drinks.
yeah, it was crazy. So heads down, built what is Soberish.com. What was it, 2023? What year are we
Mhm.
in? It was 2023.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's in the morning. Yeah. So, gosh, time
Yeah.
flies
Look
when we're
at
having
you,
fun,
yeah.
right? So, so I heads down, just solo, started building what is Soberish.com. And right before we launched, I wanted to launch in January. In December, my TikTok account got banned because obviously Kimmy G is selling drugs online. You know, at least that's what they think I'm doing. And so at the time, I had like 123 or six or something on Instagram. 123, not 123,000, 123 followers on Instagram, and literally only my friends and family on Facebook. And so I was like, I just lost 50,000 followers on TikTok. Coach Kim came to mind and was like, if this business needs to exist, you don't need a stinking following. And if you're really good at this thing called TikTok, as far as cracking the algorithm, you should be able to do it again. And so I started reposting on TikTok. I then used that same exact content and shared on Instagram and Facebook and hoped my friends and family wouldn't like unfollow me or like whatever, be weird. And yeah, so now fast forward, 2 years later, we reach 30 million people a month on social media. I have roughly 200,000, if not more, depending on the platform, but on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. So hopefully that was a long-winded answer, but that's
Well,
where we're
yeah,
at
and
now.
I think also the fact that Soberish.com itself sells these products, like that's, another big component. You're not just doing the brand affiliation anymore. You have your own line. Do you want to kind of briefly talk about that? Because I do have some other things I want to chat about in just a moment that
Yeah.
is totally on par with everything you just said.
Yeah, so like for example, these are like some of the products we sell. We sell Happy, Fable, Wink, but I would create these like mocktails, with the other non-alcoholic brands that we sell. And I'm like, I wish I got the same buzz that I got from Fable, in this cocktail. And so I'm like, how does one Like, how do they make it happen? Like, and then I'm like, oh, this is this like nanomulsification. What is that? And again, I guess I didn't mention this. I was a non-cannabis user when I started this journey. I had had a bad experience with a gummy, and my
Mm,
brother maybe hotboxed me in a car when I was in high school. High school, like that is as much as I've had like with cannabis. And so I was really nervous coming in and trying these hemp infused beverages. I
mhm,
really thought I was going to get like mega stoned. I thought I was going to be, I didn't even want to like associate myself with it. But I also am a 40-year-old mom, a professional. I can't hang with the hangovers anymore.
mhm,
And I was trying to watch my weight. And so I was like, all these empty calories I'm drinking with alcohol. I'm like, well, gosh, if this actually like feels okay, like maybe I'll try. And I remember my first beverage was can. And so I tried it and I was like, and that's where the whole skunk's ass. I'm like, oh my God, it's probably gonna taste like skunk's ass, probably gonna be stony baloney on the couch, like eating a bag of Doritos with my mom, but I'm gonna try it. And then at the end of the video, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like if I had wine. Like, why
mhm,
is no one talking about these? So anyway, so we started selling all these products, but I was making these mocktails and like, how does can get that
mhm.
buzz in their can? And so the first product we created was our Soberish drops. So it's essentially just the nanomulsification with some other ingredients to make them compliant, and you can add them, they're flavorless, into any drink. And that was kind of just the start of like, maybe we'll just like find some gaps in the market where we feel like something needs to exist. And it's really fun. I found out creating products. So, and because we're direct to consumer, we can test things at a small scale, get customer feedback, and then, we can either launch a similar product, the same product, and what have you. But it's just really great because we have all this like direct communication with our customers, unlike some brands have when they're selling in retail. Like they don't
Oh, yeah.
actually know who their customer is that's coming in the door. They just know that they're buying their product. Where we know Sally in, Georgia is X years old and her birthday's on this date and she drinks can, or
Yeah.
whatever. And
And she
so,
orders this much a month, and she tends to like stuff for sleep and a little bit of a pick me up. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah. So it's just really great. It's kind of like our secret weapon. Like we have all of our customers that we can pull at any time and get feedback from or jump on a call with, which we do. I just had a call like 2 days ago with a customer. So,
Oh, that's so cool. So I think, I mean, so much of what you've kind of hit on all these little things. One, you weren't previously a cannabis user. Two, you very much play the mom card. Like I mean, you have like four kids, right? Four?
at 5.
5. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking 4 is a lot. You have 5. So it's a very real lifestyle. And then you also mentioned that you were afraid that some of your friends and family might disassociate once you kind of had this THC persona. And I too had that same thing cuz my background was selling beer. Everybody knew me as, hell my username on a lot of like websites is blonde beer girl. Like that's kind of part of my identity and also how I met my husband. So that it worked. Um, but, there's so many stigmas around cannabis. And so, what I would love for us to do collectively, you and I, and what we've been attempting to do separately is to destigmatize this within our generation and within the moms. But I think if we could start the conversation today and keep that going, because I think that women in particular have been raised in a way that are used to being judged or perceived, and they have to look a certain way, act a certain way, be the good girl, and to be identified with THC or cannabis sometimes goes against what they might think is appropriate for a mom. And so I've really leaned in very heavily to this THC component to try to reframe that for people. But I'll go to the dentist office and I tell people I sell THC. And then I create this little safe place for them to start asking questions. And I've
Mhm.
had moms come to my house so that they could drink product and feel comfortable. What's been your experience like with, I mean, not just your own friends and family, but because you're at the forefront of the social media component, what has that been like for you? And I think what has helped most in terms of helping people destigmatize this in their mind?
Well, I was really nervous, and that's why I did not wanna post on Instagram and Facebook. I honestly was, like, embarrassed my sister-in-laws would find out,
Mhm.
who don't even drink alcohol. And I didn't want them to be like, "Oh my what is Kim doing? What?" Like,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so I'm like, "No one's gonna know me." But what I found when I was on TikTok, that there are women over 40 on TikTok, and they were also a little bit embarrassed to even write a
Mhm.
comment because maybe someone would see the comment. But my DMs, my direct messages, my private messages were flooded with women. How
Mhm.
will I feel? Where did you buy that product? How is it legal? How can you have it shipped to you to your door? Like, will I pass a drug test? Like, does it come in discreet packaging so I don't want my neighbors to know? All of these questions were in my DMs. And that was the real, like, as an entrepreneur, that like aha moment that everybody talks about. And I'm like, there are people just like me
Mhm.
who really want this category and have all of these questions. So I talk to her, whether you come to soberish.com. I do not, I'm like, hey girl, what's up? I know you're new to this. Don't worry, I got you.
Mhm.
You want to feel like you had wine? I suggest this.
Mhm.
You're new, you're going to start with a 2 milligram. You're going to wait for this. Like, I am not even talking about higher milligrams. I don't even talk about cannabinoids most of the times because
Yeah.
at that level, they're like, it goes right over their head. They want to know, how does it taste? How am I going to feel? And then the other nuances that they have questions about. And so we try to answer those. And all of my, whether it's content on social media, which is hard because you can't talk about THC, CBD, all the different cannabinoids, but at least on our website, we try to give all of the information and just meet her where she's at and give her the freedom that, like, I'll be her friend in this space for
Mhm.
right now. And she can try them. Like I'm always say, like, you can try them in the comfort of your own home. But if you maybe are going on vacation, like, what kind of products could you potentially fly with? Whether they're gummies or shots or what have you. Or if you are going to an event and you don't want to drink, what are some alternatives that you could bring? Like, maybe you could make that pumpkin spice martini and you could bring a bottle of vodka. And you could also
Mhm.
bring a bottle of, maybe there's a shot or something or some, alternative, or the drops or whatever. Or you can also serve it without anything because you don't necessarily always have to have a buzz. And so just giving her those options hopefully will empower her to, you know, be more soberish in her own life and not feel the stigma. But I feel like it's very much there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
everyone I talked to face, there was like, Kim, what are you doing?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's a very
right.
closeted vibe, and I don't know if you're like me, but so I came out well, and I started to want to educate people, so I started this YouTube channel, and then I realized that I needed to step into that, and so I posted on Facebook that's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a hypocrite if I'm over here publicizing this and telling everybody else to feel comfortable, but I'm not doing it within my space." So I very much came out and said, "Hey, friends and family, ask me your questions. I'm in support of this." And the first year, people looked at me like I had 7 heads. Like, "Whoa, hey, what Lee's gone off the reservation, don't like whatever she's got going on." And then I'd say 6 months, to a year later, suddenly I was getting the little quiet tap on the shoulder. "Hey, Lee, tell me more about these products. Can I try some?" And then I was secretly bringing them to brunches and parties and like handing them out to people that didn't want people to know, or
Mhm.
inviting them over. So I was like, "Yeah, I've got samples. Go for it." But they were doing it in private, kind of like the DM component. And then the next year, it was more like outward and people started to feel comfortable. And it wasn't until this year that this one particular friend group really has embraced it. Like 4th of July party, Lee's bringing the THC. Like
Mhm.
they're literally asking me, and nobody's having to be closeted anymore. And I found that if I can be or someone else can be that safe place and make a welcoming environment, that's kind of key number 1. And then really once it gets a little bit more normalized within that friend group and they see someone else doing it, then they feel more comfortable. Have you seen anything in particular, or I mean just as moms, I would love for all the women in America to see us and go, "Oh, they're doing it. It's okay." Like, what do you think has been one of the biggest catalysts to make people feel comfortable with owning this new category?
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel the same way. Like when I go somewhere, they're like, "Oh, Kim, are you gonna bring your drinks?" But I don't
Mhm.
see anybody else bringing those kind of drinks. They're bringing their buffalo dip and wine and whatever else, you know? And so I want to be like utilize what I have online. And so like I said, I reach over 30 million people a month on social media. And a lot of my content has nothing to do with Soberish. Absolutely nothing. But that's because I want to show I'm just your everyday professional. I have a business. I talk about like business woes. I talk about like cooking dinner. I talk about how I'm married to a Mexican man. I want to be just your like internet bestie. And guess what? Your internet bestie drinks THC beverages. And so every once in a while, like I do a ton of cooking videos because a lot of people, like everybody has to cook, you know, everybody has to eat. And so I show what I've, you know, recipes that we used to use at the restaurant or that I've learned over the years. And those do really well. And so like every couple recipes, you know, I might be like, why that's cooking, I'm going to make a soberish cocktail that'll give me a buzz without the booze. I don't talk about it. I don't promote it. I don't like, hey girl, like buy this at whatsoberish.com.
Right, right, right.
I am selling without selling. I'm just showing how normal this is. Like as if I was going to be like, why that's cooking, I'm going to make a martini. Yeah, why that's cooking, I'm going to make a soberish martini. And I'm going to add it. And guess what? This is going to give me a buzz without the booze. And it has 0 calories. All right,
Mhm,
back to the like, it's ready out of the oven, whatever. Just to show like how it is actually normal. And by the end of the video, I'm still speaking clearly. I'm still whatever. I might be a little bit more happy and I might talk about that in the video like, oh, my buzz kicked in. You can tell because I can't wipe the smile off my face or whatever. And that like selling without selling, people then will come in my DMs or come into the
mhm,
cap or into the comment section. Girl, what was in your drink?
mhm.
Where do you get that? You know, and so that I feel is how I'm able to reach the masses and kind of normalize it. But I'm just one person too.
Yeah. Well, and it's a movement and it'll take time and we're still at the early phases of this all and I don't get on social media quite as much and make all the videos. So mine's more just like around town. So if I'm going to a party, I will make a THC cocktail instead of a beer. And they'll say, "What are you drinking?" I'm like, "THC." And they go, "How in the hell can you drink that at a party?" I'm like, "Well, because it's controllable. Like I can set it down. I'm not going to over consume. It's if you're drinking THC, it's hard to overconsume and if you know what you're doing 'cause there is so much control in it. Um, but yeah, I would love for us to help be at the forefront of this of this revolution, especially for moms and really get rid of the stigmas. So,
Because she is the one with the buying power of her household.
mhm.
And so she's the one buying the drinks for this weekend. She is
Mhm.
the one, you know, making plans for the family. And so if we can make her feel comfortable or at least know about this category to then include these in her day to day. There's also so many other things about hemp beverages that aren't just about like getting a buzz to replace alcohol. There's all of these other things. Like she's freaking tired but can't sleep. You know, how many moms do you know that are like, God, I just can't sleep. Like, there's so many things bouncing around in my head at night, and then I have to wake up early, and then there's like just all this noise being, you know, a mom or a professional. And it doesn't go away when you hit like perimenopause and menopause. It only gets worse. And
Mhm.
so these products can help her, you know? And so, but we have to, but she doesn't know that unless we're talking about it.
Mhm. Oh yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And fortunately, you know, you have resources out there. You are very active on social media, as we know. But if individuals do have questions, they can head to soberish.com and you
Mhm.
have all of the education and information there. Of course, I have other videos on my channel. But I think if anybody's watching and has questions, we are both available. We're both here as resources and as moms and as professional women
Yeah.
to help normalize this for you and your friends, you know, in your groups. So
Yeah. And in all honesty, if you don't see a resource out there, you know, I'm on Instagram, Kimmie Gomez, Facebook, Kim Gomez, easy to find.
Kimmy
TikTok,
G.
same thing, Kimmie G. I'm easy to find on social media. Send me a DM.
Yeah.
Like it's how it started. I'm still doing the same thing because I get those direct messages and I either want to have a resource created, like a video or an article or something. I'd be like here, this is like some information. Like hopefully it's helpful, but please let me know if you have any other questions because if I don't know her questions, then I can't like address them with content. I can't address them with the next video I post, with the next article we create, with the next email blast that I'm sending out to our customers. If I don't like, I need to know all the questions. So reach out. Like, don't be shy. That's how this business started. And I still try to get back to everyone who sends me a question or
That's
somebody from my
awesome.
team.
Yeah, that's awesome. And same here. If you guys have a question for me, I'm always available. I'm at the Enlightened Buzz. Comment on YouTube, Instagram, all of that. But Kimmie, thanks for joining. I always enjoy getting to have a conversation with you, and am so impressed with everything that you've accomplished up to this point, and now to see what you're doing within the THC space and how you're helping to normalize this among you know, women in that look like us and beyond, and the rest of the world that just needs to learn more about these drinks. So, thank you.
Yeah. And thank you. The same ditto for all that you're doing for the category.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I will see you later. And if you guys like this video, make sure to hit subscribe and like and ask the questions. We'll make more videos. We'll give you more content. We don't know unless you ask. So please put a comment or a question below. Thanks for watching. Bye.